to be. I hope you see that you can lean on me, and together we can come so easy. With love so strong and so unselfishly, and I tell you now that I made a vow. I'm giving you the best that I've got, baby. Yes, I tell you now.
Peace and love to the family. It's your boy Corbin reporting live. Beautiful Anita Baker giving us the best that she got, as always, as she always has been. Of course, I don't own the rights or the copyrights to that song, just to let you know, Facebook, social media. Now, for those who have seen my post when I said I had a powerful presentation and video for you today, that's exactly what I meant. And I don't want to waste your time or my time, so I'm going to go straight into it. For my family out there, respect to everybody who watches the Elite Enlightened Ones, y'all know who you are now. If y'all like the content on this page, continue to like, continue to subscribe. Shout out to my 20 subscribers right now. I know y'all loving the page right now, and I appreciate y'all for your love, so here we go. Let me say this. For my theologians out there, for my pastors, my bishops, everybody, and even to the Pope, who I definitely hope is watching this one. We live in a Western civilization right now. To my pastors and bishops, to my Christian family out there, a lot of what you have been taught, a lot of what you know based on religion, based on Christianity, is coming from a Western civilization point of view, a European mind point of view, but most definitely a Western civilization point of view on the way we view the story of Jesus, the way we view the story of God is all from a Western civilization point of view. Now let me say this, for my theologians out there, for my pastors, for my scholars out there, we do know that geographically, the whereabouts of Christ and the story of Christ and the whole setting of the Bible itself is from an Eastern civilization point of world, geographic, excuse me. The works and everything that are in the Bible wasn't in America. It was from the Eastern civilization. Now, with me saying that, family, how can we look at our religion, Christianity, from a one-side view and say that we know the all of being all just by what we were taught from our churches, from my grandparents, and from our mothers and fathers? How can we say that what we know is solid, is the truth, that our God is an awesome God? How can we know for sure if what we have been taught have only been given to us from a one-side view, one-side window, but guess what? There's 3 other windows that you haven't even viewed yet. So, for those who have watched my video, the one when I had my fro out, and I gave you guys a snippet of David Wilcock, who's like a spiritual philosopher, I'll give him that. David Wilcock. And I gave you guys a snippet of the video where he was going in and telling you guys about, just a brief, I think it was 5 minutes, a video I showed you guys of David Wilcock going in and letting you guys hear a little bit about the story of Simeon Toko. And that video got 4 likes. I did a little something on a Facebook post as well, excuse me. I can't say I was shocked about the lack of response that I got. I can't say I was surprised. But I definitely thought maybe some more people would hit me up on my DMs about this because of the story itself. The fact that us as a Western civilization being here in America, especially being Africans, being in America, African Americans, that this story would maybe just shock a few people. I figure at least get maybe somebody like, man, you know, that story about Simeon Tokyo really touched a nerve, man. Can you go in further on it? So, and I also told you guys as well that I was going to do a video. So here's the video. You like it? Here we go. And family, I got Wi-Fi close to me as possible, so we're gonna go in live too. You know, I keep two phones. Shout out to Kevin Gates. But for my elite enlightened ones, for my subscribers who are the elite enlightened ones, what I want you to do and what you should already be doing right now is have a pen and a pad ready. You know how we do, ain't nothing changed. I got 34 minutes. It's gonna be good, I promise you. Okay? This is what I want y'all to look up. The pen and pad is ready. Look up the third secret of Lady Fatima, or maybe Fatima, but Fatima. Once again, that's the third secret of Lady Fatima or Fatima. That's Fatima. Fatima. See, family, there is a secret in the Vatican that a lot of people won't talk about. See, when you're going to be on my channel and you're going to listen to my work, understand that you're going to get a gnosis. This is way past what your churches and what your pastors have been teaching you. And if there's some pastors in the building right now, respect to y'all, but this is a gnosis that some of y'all don't even know. And if y'all seen it too, there's a halo above me, so you know this work is about to get good. I like shining in my crown chakra. So here we go. The secret of Lady Fatima or Fatima, I'm just going to say Fatima right now, is a secret that the Vatican has. That Pope John, I do believe, and after you do your research, after this video, you will know who it is. But let's just say Pope John II knew this in 1960, that this secret that the Lady Fatima, who, for all my Islamic brothers out there, this is the Prophet Muhammad's daughter. The Prophet Muhammad had a son-in-law, right, Hassan? For all my Islamic brothers out there, in Catholic Church, Lady Fatima or Fatima is the Virgin Mary. So anyway, she was like a prophet herself, Lady Fatima or Fatima. She had 3 secrets, but the third secret the Pope was supposed to reveal, guys. That third secret the Pope was supposed to reveal, but he didn't, and he kept it sealed. That was supposed to be a secret that African Americans, Africans all over, was supposed to know by now. So you have a group of people, melanated people, who were waiting, and right now some are still waiting for the second coming of Christ. But guess what, guys? He already came, and he already left. In fact, he died the same year I was born, 1984, on his own will. So before I go in on Simeon Toko, I want you to know about another brother named Simon Kimbangu. And before I go in on that, I want to shout out 2 teachers of mine, Dr. Aline Bey and Baba Dr. David Blair, who is no longer with us, but Dr. Aline Bey is. They were one of the first ones to give us the knowledge and the teachings of who Simeon Toko was. This is a secret in the Vatican, people. And they're out there talking about right now, COVID-19 is what? It's highly dangerous for the blacks and the browns. The Latinos and the blacks, but more definitely the blacks. They're saying that we are the most dangerous or the most endangered with this. Why are they telling us? Why are we the ones that are most dangerous? Is it because, why, do you guys question this? Why? Is it because we're a special group of people? Yes, that's exactly why. And this is a secret that the Vatican has. This is the secret that the Vatican has. The third secret of Lady Fatima or Fatima. Let's go ahead and read in on this. Before we go in on our brother, our Christ, Simeon Toko, let's go into what I consider, and I think a lot of people consider, what would be his John the Baptist or John the Harbinger, if you really know. And I got Wi-Fi, so we're gonna make it do what it do. I got 34 minutes left. So if y'all watching this for my elite light ones, I know that heart is pumping right now. Let's look at Simon Kimbangu. Simon Kimbangu. Now this brother, without me going on my research right now, just freestyling. This brother was born around he was born around the mid 1800s. Only was he a healer, not only did he raise the dead, but he did it all in Christian religion, all under the name of Christ and God the Father. So here we go. Here we go. Y'all ready for this? Simon Kimbangu was born October 12, 1951. Was the leader, born 1890. Died 1951. Was the leader of what is generally considered the most important independent Christian religious movement in Central Africa. Although active only a few months before arrested and he was thrown in jail for 30 years for the miracles he did. Huh? Sound familiar, my Christians? Sound familiar? Before being arrested and imprisoned by the colonial government, Kimbangu developed a following which later developed into a large organized church name, and it's in French, but the translation results into the Church of Jesus Christ on Earth by the prophet Simon Kimbangu. Now, before I go any further, to my Christian family out there, because y'all still my family, because I grew up in the Christian religion. The thing that separates me is I don't have no religion, I don't have no connection or have no belief system to any religious sect. I studied all of them. And I studied all of them, I fell back. And the purpose is with our souls, we are supposed to gather everything from each religion because we're all connected as one. There has been division with our religion, just like in the beginning times with the the Tower of Babel. You understand what I'm saying? So it's always been a mission of certain people to separate us. So religion's true essence was to bring us together. Now let me say this right here, because I'm only going to go a little bit on Simon Kimbangu, which is spelled Simon, Simon, Kimbangun. Excuse me, Kimbangu. Excuse me. And I want to read this right quick before I go into Samion Toko. I want to read this one right quick before we leave Simon Kimbangu. During a flu epidemic in 1918, Kimbangu received what he interpreted as the call of God. During the flu epidemic in 1918, Kimbangu received what he interpreted as the call of God. In the attempt to evade the call, he fled to, and it's spelled Leopoldville. Because the call continued even in the capital, however, and because life in a large city was difficult, Kimbangu returned back home in 1921. He received a vision asking him to proclaim the gospel. Now, before I go in, people, you got to understand. Before Christianity was in Europe, was in Europe in the hands of the Europeans, and eventually in the hands of the slaves that were owned by the Europeans, Christianity first came to Africa. Christianity was in Africa. His teachings, and the services he led, he emphasized singing, praying, Bible reading, and sermon. An important element of his ministry was healing as he laid his hands on the sick. He was also seized with trembling. His teachings based on the Bible centered on three themes: destruction of all fetishes, prohibition of polygamy, and worship of one true God. Identifying God with Nzambi, the African supreme being, Kimbangu portrayed God as being closely linked to Africans. Kimbangu betrayed God. The same God the same God you praise in church as being closely linked to Africans. And I can't even say the same God you pray in church because a lot of y'all won't go deep in depth to who that is. You won't read the Gnostics, but that's neither here or there right now. So let's go into Simeon Toko because, like I said, when he was in prison, and you once again do your reading on Simon, and once you'll read it, whatnot, he prophesied, just like John the Baptist or John the Harbinger. He prophesied the coming of Simeon Toko. Now let's read, family. Let's read on Simeon Toko. Now remember, you read the Bible. The Bible prophesied of the coming of a second Messiah. But guess what? Since you are in a Western civilization world, you're not even thinking the man to be a black man. Why would you? Huh? You're not even thinking to be a black man. You're not even thinking the Messiah to be a black man. Why would you when everything is in your churches was always portrayed as the Caucasian man? And this has nothing to do with anything with being racist. This has nothing to do with color, but at the end of the day, it has everything to do with who we are. And that's a subject right now I can just feel a lot of people aren't ready for. So let's go on to Simeon Toko. And I want to get the best one. I want to get the best one. Here we go. By the brother Dr. Alim Bey. The Murders of African Avatars and the Secret of the Fatima by Tom Dark. And this is Dr. Alim Bey going on a research that he researched but put onto the web. And I'm just going to scroll right down to the good shit. Give me a minute, family. Like I said, I hope you're doing your own research, by the way, too. Simeon Toko came to on. Okay, here we go. Hold up. It's a little bit too far. Give me a minute. You guys should be doing your research on. That's spelled SimeonToko. Simeon Toko. Because the way it goes, he jumps right into Simeon Toko. But I'm gonna try and find another one that really goes in. Here we go. Let's go with this one, guys. And I'm gonna give you a picture of the brother. The picture you guys got of Christ. A lot of you guys know. They say, man, that's Serapis Bey, or what was the other one name? Start with a B. But pretty much the one of the emperor's nephews or whatnot. So the portrait that you've seen all these years of Christ is not even the accurate version of Christ. How can it be when his hair was wool and feet of bronze? But this is let me get it. Can y'all see that? There you go. I know you can see that. That is one of the many portraits, images of Simeon Toko. You see it? Here we go. Let's go on. Christian churches and colonial governments tried to, I'm going to get this word right because sometimes I read fast, irradiate, that's ERADICATE, African spirituality, pretty much take it out, get rid of it. Few Westerners, that's us, are aware of the spectacular religious activity that has been thundering with incalculable attributes through the hearts of millions of Africans in our just past centuries. Men and women have been seeing visions after visions, signs after signs, and wonders after wonders. There are natural holidays commemorating miracles, not from centuries ago by some old saint whose paint has long since peeled, but within a few decades, and witnesses by thousands of ordinary citizens still walking among us. Here's another portrait, can y'all see it, of Simeon Toko. You can also see the scars. And we're going to go into the scars in a minute. January 4th, 1959, witnesses attest that many cherubim, and sephrim. And for my religious people, hold on now, cherubim and sephrim. You know these are angels. Y'all know these words, cherubims and sephims. Oh, I'll give you the words. Cherubim. That's Cherubim. And sephrim, Seraphim. For my religious people who know the Bible, you know these are aspects of angels that were in heaven. But hold on, let's keep on going because I only got 12 minutes left, maybe. January 4th, 1959, witnesses attest that many cherubim and sephrim emerged and held off Belgium colonial army. Citizens of Leopoldville saw an army of about 1,000 angels, non-terrestrials, very muscular bodies imposing these human-looking beings, but with supernatural powers demonstrating an extraordinary force. For example, a witness saw one of them on the road sweeping a 5-ton truck with one hand, lifting a 5-ton truck with one hand. Belgian soldiers opened fire on these angels, non-terrestrial, but to no effect. Colonial armies were in panic and disorder. Angels disappeared as suddenly as had appeared. According to the African natives that day, Samian Tokyo had unleashed his army. 4th of January is a day of celebration today in Kinshasa. That's Kinshasa. I don't want to hold too much time because y'all need to do your work and study on this man. Let's continue to go on. A year after this extraordinary event, Congo became an independent country for the Belgians, were forced to leave their rich colonies of Congo. Sami and Toko, a reincarnation of Simon Kimbangu, who we just talked about, appeared before people in a aberrational body, and in dream states, while he was physically alive, and continues to do so through the same among certain selected people, 17 years after his willing national death. His willing national death. Now I'm trying to read this slow, but I'll read fast, but I know you guys are with me. At least one witness say that he personally killed the man. He was an assassin. He was sent to kill this man numerous times and failed because the man kept coming back. At least one witness says that he personally killed this man, quite professionally, as a hired killer, and saw him alive again a few days later. Others still living at the time of this writing say they saw Toko physically slaughtered and watched him bring himself back to life before their astonished eyes. Now here's another picture of this brother. It's a black brother. Can you see him? African brother. African brother. You see him? You can do your research. You'll see him more. Others still living at the time of this writing say they saw Toko physically slaughtered and watched him bring himself back to life before their astonished eyes. This is a very large body of testimony, meaning that there's witnesses on top of testimonies. Keep on going. Of which only a little has yet been recorded or written down from eyewitnesses, and I told you why. May 13, 1917, the Lady of Fatima, Portugal, predicted the fall of Russia to communism, the end of the First World War, and the coming of the Second World War. John, that's 23 in numerals, I believe, ordered the third secret sealed up in a vault forever. The third secret of Fatima announces his birth, which occurred 9 months after her initial appearance, and cites biblical passages that make a case that Simeon Toko was Christ's return. Simeon Toko is the first among the wrath of candidates that stand up to the metalicious interpretations of biblical prophecies. What they're saying is he was one of the fewest ones that really showed them that he was the return of the Christ. Simeon Toko is the first among the wrath of candidates to stand up to the metalicious interpretations of biblical prophecies. Even in the famous lightning from east to west line, thought to mean that Christ appears somehow in a perpetual abstract, is covered by the Tokiist. The appearance of the Virgin at Fatima was predicted by lightning flashing east to west every time. And y'all gotta excuse me because I get really emotionally channeled when this shit reads. So excuse me. And I even got my shades on right now, but it is what it is. I don't know what I do with my glasses. It is what it is. During the 19th of December 31st to January 1st, 1984. I was born December 26, 1984. I was born December 26, 1984. The Christ is Sagittarius. Excuse me. The Christ is a Saturn sign. Excuse me. The Christ is a Saturn sign. The Christ is a Capricorn sign as well. But when I mean Saturn, I mean the planet Saturn. The Christ is a Capricorn. Continue. At this time, the Christ is a Capricorn. During the night of December 31st to January 1st, 1984, when the media announced the death of Simeon Toko, thunderclaps of virtually Semitic force and torrential rain burst the skies of Luanda. It has not rained in that area for several years. Meteorologists were mystified. For 3 days, the rain fell continuously. The occurrence of this event was a tribute to all the rumors surrounding the death of the great prophet. God, I ain't got too much time. I'm going to have to do a part 2. Simeon Tokyo was born on February 24th, 1918, in a northern village in Angola. Not long after Simeon's birth, a missionary at Baptist Missionary Society based in Angola had a dream. He dreamed that a great king had been born in the region under his ministry. He decided to go looking for this baby. In 1949, Tokyo asked in a public prayer that the Holy Spirit manifest in Africa to put at the end of the abuses of the colonial powers. Tokyo became a dedicated member of the Baptist Church. He formed a singing choir of 12 people. Instantly, the choir became famous, and from 12 members, it grew into hundreds. At each of the choir performances, whether at church or while visiting another church, the Holy Ghost manifested strongly. On October 22nd, 1949, Tokyo started revealing himself, meaning that letting people know who he was as a Christ. Tokyo held up both hands, spread out his fingers, and told the abusive Belgian to count them. He said, I give 10 years, representing the fingers he held up, to the Belgians, not one more or less, to leave the country. As for the other mysterious statement made by Tokyo, 10 years later, in 1960, the Belgians were obliged to leave their rich colony of Congo. During a stay in 1994, which was 10 years after he died, the pastor who was, I just want to keep on reading the good stuff. But you can read it further. But listen, because I only got a little bit of time. The colonial people out there, once they realized who he was, and once they realized the seal that the Pope sealed years ago, of the fact that this man was the true Christ, they did everything to try to test this man. They killed him numerous times, shot him in the head, boom, came back alive. One farmer who was working in the yard set him up and put him and had him, trying to fix something in the fields, and then with this big truck cut the ignition on and cut him up to pieces. Reverse, cut. He was all cut to pieces. He got out the truck, see what happened. Then Simeon put himself back together. They sent a group of men on an airplane with Tokyo along with a Catholic priest. And they're trying to set the man up by kicking him off the airplane. Before they could even do it, he stood up and demanded the airplane to stop in midair. And I ain't talking about demanding the pilots, demanding the plane itself to stop in midair. The people on the plane panicked in prayer. He reached up and the plane continued as it was going. Last but not least, they try to set him up again with radiation, chopped his body up, put it in a grinder, put it in radiation. When they went back in the office to try to collect their money for killing him, he was right there and told them, you heard the story. I don't want to go in further. Do your research. And for the ones who say this is devil work, this is nothing but the devil work. It's Africa. This ain't nothing but devil work. This ain't nothing but that voodoo. May I read a scripture off the Bible, please? Matthew 12, verses 24 through 25. But when Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. A lot of y'all don't even know who Beelzebub is. You talk about leave me alone, Satan, leave me alone, Lucifer, but you don't even know who Beelzebub is. Beelzebub was the bossest of bosses. He was he was the evil if you was. That's what you want to call that word. Before Satan even came in, Beelzebub and Jesus had a connection like that, huh? But let's go in. For you guys know this. Matthew 12 through 20, 12, 24 to 25 reads, but when Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. 25. And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to dissolution. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then his kingdom stand? Matthew 26, verse 53. Thinks thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? Matthew 26, 53. Thinks thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? You heard the story. Simeon Toko had a legion. He brought cherubim and seraphim, which you know in your Bible, with him to defeat the colonials who were oppressing the people. Family, this story is important to us. Why? Because for the ones in church right now who are praising to this Jesus that you don't even know is Yeshua, and you won't do the work or read the Gnostic text, you don't even know that his second coming already happened. So this is why this energy of our people, the melanated ones, is drained, is empty. Because the truth is in Africa. Our medicine, our healing is in Africa. That's why these Europeans have drained Africa. And they want to bring the diseases further on to Africa. Because they know that we are the chosen ones. We've been the chosen ones. You don't even know about the story of Meldek, Hedron. You know about Atlantis from what they gave you. But you don't know about Lemuria. You won't know about the astral belt and how the astral belt that is in our planet system was actually the planet Meldek. You don't know that because you won't go deep. You don't know about the cosmic beings and the common laws. The cosmic beings and the cosmic karma that are connected to the Bible. You guys read the Bible as a physical. There's so much spiritual and geometry to it, and geometry to it. So I don't have too much time left. It's about to go off. So please do your research, family. The third secret of Lady